Welcome to the Retail Doctor Group 12 Tips to Fit Christmas Retailing. Welcome, Peter.
Us again, Sylvia.
So today we are going to talk about rostering. Yesterday we talked about getting the best out of our people. We touched on Christmas casuals and upskilling our team. Just wanted to take a deeper dive into rostering. So, Peter, how should a leader or a business owner effectively manage their rosters to remain efficient but still provide the most optimum customer experience for our customers?
Thank you, Sylvia. And yes, I think that's, again, an underplanned area and an area that does affect the business, particularly at these busy times. I think the process that I always used to use was one where I assessed what skills I need. How many hours or how many people do I need selling? What replenishment, because those could be different skills. What relief people I need. And very importantly, how many people in the cash and wrap area processing, because once people have made their selection, they become impatient. They want to pay and move on. And standing in a queue and having inefficient staff behind the point of sale can be very frustrating. So I think assessing the skills that are needed and then rostering accordingly. So it's easy to know or to work out what your likely sales pattern will be for the day or the week, but it's not always that easy to work out what replenishment skills are going to be needed and when you're going to do them. Fundamental decisions like, is it going to be outside of trading hours or during trading hours? If it is during trading hours, when and how are you going to do it without it being in the way of customers? So a lot depends on the product that you are replenishing, its weight, its bulk, all of those sorts of things, but you need to match the skills to what the business needs.
And how is it best to work out what you need and when you need? You know, are we looking at last year's performance at the same time? You know, how do we predict? Because essentially that's what you're doing in rostering. You're predicting what you need on that specific date within those specific times. How would you approach it, Peter?
In one of the podcasts going forward, I'm going to be talking about measuring and doing a post-mortem early in January. And part of that post-mortem will be clues on how to improve next year. But let's come back to the staffing. I think we've also got to maintain a level of flexibility. So you will have people that can do multitasks, but also I would far rather at this time of the year had a little bit overstaffed than understaffed. You can always send people home, shorten shifts and that sort of thing. It's much easier to do that than it is to get on the phone and try and find people to come in if you've underplanned. So I would overplan maybe 10 or 15% and then work it out from there. The other thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure a lot of you retailers are noticing as well, is that these Christmas periods are getting shorter and sharper. A lot of people are leaving their purchasing until the last week. And in this year with Christmas on a Friday, I think it will start on that Saturday, the 20th or whatever it is. And the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday will be your key days. Those are the days that you need to have your rosters really filled up.
I completely agree with you. And I think for those retailers in Victoria, I live in Victoria, and I was having a conversation the other day with a friend that I'm just getting used to the shops being open again. I'm not ready to do my Christmas shopping.
Really? It's interesting.
Yeah, and I think there'll be a lot of people feeling the same, that they will leave it to the last minute because we are just getting used to shopping again. So something to think about for Victorian retailers there.
I live in the best state, so I don't have that problem.
Of course, you're in Sydney. So just to wrap up, we talked in yesterday's podcast around burnout, managing breaks. And I just wanted to finish on that point because I think it's really crucial. You know, health and well-being during this period is absolutely essential during Christmas. What's your last and final tip before we wrap up on that one, Peter?
I think it's holding yourself as the manager or the leader a little bit apart so that you are working on the business, observing what's going on, inquiring from your staff how they're doing, and observing how people when your team are reacting. It is so tempting to get in and work in the business and pick up papers and direct customers, and all of those things need to happen, but you need to control your team and make sure that your team is functioning. You've got to be captain of the team.
I think that's a very good point. Working on the business, not in the business, is absolutely crucial during December as a retail leader.
And a lot of people get sucked into the activity and they don't have the helicopter view of what's going on.
And then they themselves burn out as well.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a wrap. Thank you, Peter. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.